Hello there, time to pack for a tropical trip to Bali. I went on a 6-day adventure to Ubud in October, meeting up with my best friend from school who now lives in London, so it was a fantastic reunion. Highly recommend booking a honeymoon-esque package with a friend for a very entertaining and hilarious rose petal field experience. It was my first time in Bali and we had a mix of relaxing resort days and exploring the sights and spas of Ubud, so I didn't need much makeup, but I still wanted some fun, colourful options for White Lotus-like dinners to dress up and celebrate 20 years of friendship. My makeup bag of choice was this Space NK mini travel bag in a fitting jungle green. I've travelled with this for a 5 to 6 day trip before, so I knew I could fit a surprising amount of steps in here despite it being so tiny. I often like bringing small cosmetic case shapes like this one from Aussie brand Oraton, but I knew I could make things even more compact for this trip, so the Space NK shape was the winner. Let's start putting together my packing list, beginning with base. A couple of months ago, I shared a video on decanting base makeup for travel. You'll never catch me packing a big glass bottle or big packaging of any kind, so more decanting with my trusty Muji tubes is coming right up. I travelled with my beloved Typology tinted serum earlier this year, but couldn't find that decanted tube in my rush packing for this trip, but I can keep this new one packed in my overnight bag, no big deal having another. As someone who only wears a couple of drops of skin tint, this is plenty. Just need a label maker eventually. That might be my Christmas present to myself. Next on the decanting list was bronzer, but I actually have an entire base routine covered in my travel makeup palette I made last year. I know many of you are familiar with it, but I'll leave videos below if you'd like to see the making of and how I update it. Inside I have Merit Bronze Balm in clay and Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in biscuit, so I'm already covered for bronzer and contour. Even though these pans are small, I can fit my fingertips neatly, then apply product directly to my skin. I also have a highlighter in here, Chanel Balm Essentiel in Sculpting for a pearly glow. That texture is quite soft in the pan, so this one's more of a pinky finger dab than a swipe situation. I did want to bring a glowy bronzing base, different category altogether and a perfect hot weather holiday product. Westman Atelier Super Loaded Tinted Highlight Drops in Peau de Soleil can be worn alone for a bit of a boost over your sunscreen on no makeup days, under makeup, mixed into makeup, or as a liquid bronzer to warm up your face. Can't imagine a summer holiday without it. This year I've been obsessed with Dior's Forever Skin Perfect foundation stick, planning a deep dive on foundation sticks in the new year, and I will include a comparison to my regular Merit the Minimalist because that's what's already in my palette. Even though I adore the Dior, I don't need both. The Minimalist is my most used product in this palette, perfect width to swipe my fingers in and dab it straight onto my skin as if it was the stick. For higher coverage spot concealing, next door is my Clé de Peau concealer, another one that needs a pinky pickup to pinpoint it. A separate brightening concealer is a must for me though, always need help with dark circles, so YSL Touche Éclat is coming with me. Not a big powder person with my normal to dry skin, but for special occasions or hot and sweaty weather, my favourite is By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder in both the loose and pressed versions. This pressed travel mini is perfection, slim and light, comes with a mirror and a sponge inside, so application couldn't be easier, and it always looks seamless and skin-like, not powdery or cakey. I'd typically bring Glossier Boy Brow because it's the smallest brow tube I own, but mine's empty and I couldn't find a backup in my slightly chaotic beauty storage at the moment, so Merit Brow 1980 Volumizing Pomade in dark brown is the next best thing. Creamy like Glossier, not crunchy, with a larger spoolie to lift and shape brows neatly. Blush is the hardest part to pack because it's the best part. I just like having options, okay? I know I have a cream blush problem, completely comfortable admitting that, but that's where my palette comes in because I don't have to choose. I can bring 5. Even though cute minis like Merit Flush Balm in Bespoke, a beautiful rosy brown, was tempting, and their new sun-kissed holiday shade Redux or Redux from this year's mini trio would have been perfect, or Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek in Rosy Beige Enigma, always great. I don't actually need them because I already have Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks in Chouchette, Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks in Garçon, Trinity London Lip to Cheek in Freddy, Make Beauty Lip and Cheek Stick in Discontinued Bisou Bisou, and Nude Sticks Nudies Matte Bronze in Sunkissed. 3 of those were updates for a winter trip earlier this year, but I'm still happy with these flushed tones for a warm destination too. Let's narrow down the eye choices. I filmed this the day before I left, so this was my real decision-making process. Starting with a recent launch, Merit Solo Shadow Sheen. Loving this subtly glowy, non-sparkly cream formula. Champagne Glacé or Coppery Burgundy Matchbook. Both would be lovely on holiday, but Matchbook, you're coming with me for bronzed sunset lids. Also contemplated Rare Beauty Liquid Shadow in Nearly Rose, or another great liquid like Armani Eye Tint in Old Pinky 27 Sunset, but shadow sticks are so much slimmer, so neither of you have boarding passes, so sorry. In the stick department, there are simple matte bases like Mecca Max Dusty Rose or Taupe. Taupe might play nicely under that Merit sheen, but I completely changed my mind and took Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Matte in Peach as my everyday base shade instead. Then we have stunning, but sadly discontinued, Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Desert Sand, an incredible copper, one of my absolute favourites in summer. For more inspiration along these lines, head to my recent Peach eyeshadow video. Compact brushes I can always count on. Merit brush number 2 is perfect for travel with a blending end and a tiny end for liner work. I also always use Refa 01 as a bigger blending brush, but because I'm bringing such a small makeup bag, it's a little too tall no matter which way you pack it. But luckily I have a slightly smaller travel version from a Refa kit years ago, so it can still come. One last hint of colour with Chanel Stylo Waterproof in Rose Kifre, a metallic coral pink liner that elevates any shadow look. A worn out NARS Pro Prime eyeshadow base also comes everywhere with me. Do they make a travel mini in this? They need to. And my mascara of the moment, Tower 28 Make Waves. It was in my Sephora sale edit and many of you raved about it in the comments too. Excellent curl, lift, length and volume. Didn't need many lip options. It was a Blisstex sunscreen lip balm all day kind of trip, so only dinner choices. You wouldn't be watching a travel makeup bag video on my channel without a Bobbi Brown crush lip colour, but this time it's slightly brighter pink Babe. This is like an amped up version of Italian Rose, my top shade, but you can stick to a couple of swipes for a bitten look too. A summery red felt like a smart choice. My go-to since it launched last year has been Merit Signature Lip Matte in Vermilion, a warm red in a comfy soft matte texture that also blurs easily so you can tone the colour down, and a gloss, tossing up between my recent love, Merit Shade Slick Sheen in Biarritz, and an older love, Mini Kosas Wet Lip Oil Gloss in Dip. Pretty similar tone, but Kosas wins because it's ever so slightly smaller, a pretty pearly nude and lightweight non-sticky feel. Finishing with a shout out to my at-home manicure, which was the actual mani I travelled with. Keeping my nails nice and short with less free edge helps with wear time and hygiene while travelling. More travel nail tips in a video below. This lovely lilac is You're Invited from Olive & June, always drawn to pastels like this in spring and summer. For longer 3 to 4 week trips, I do pack a mini nail kit, separate video breaking down the contents of this, but this time I just brought a mini Olive & June top coat to reapply every few days, which I didn't even end up doing, but it helps reinforce the protection and refresh the shine on the road to help your mani last the distance. Now it's just time to play Tetris to fit everything into this little bag, and it will fit, don't worry, just a bit of an art to arranging everything. See, totally fits, but it's pretty tight in there, and I feel like I've taken more than enough options. So if in doubt, get everything out again and line it all up to do a final cull. This time, I felt like the red lip probably wasn't required if I was being realistic, and taking out that chunky Merit packaging did make a difference. That's my final travel makeup bag. Another Matilda on Tour vlog is coming soon, taking you to Bali with me and the best spa in Ubud, which one of you recommended. Let me know how you like to pack for trips. Have you tried depotting or decanting before? Do you have any adventures or home visits coming up over the holidays? Please share where you're headed and what you're planning to pack. Thanks for watching. See you next time.